Have you ever wondered if the fruits you're eating every day could be quietly harming your liver, especially after the age of 60? We often hear that fruits are the healthiest option, packed with vitamins and nutrients to support our well-being. But did you know that some fruits, especially when consumed too much, can actually put a strain on your liver? In today's video, I'm going to reveal 8 fruits that many of us think are perfectly safe, but could be causing harm to our liver over time. I know you might be surprised because we all know that fruits are generally good for us, right? But what happens when certain fruits contain high amounts of sugar, preservatives, or other factors that our liver finds hard to process, particularly as we age? I'm here to share the truth about some of these seemingly innocent fruits and why it's important to understand how they can impact our liver health. Stay with me throughout this video as I take you through each fruit that can be silently damaging your liver. You'll get a better understanding of what to avoid or consume in moderation so you can protect your liver and live a healthier life. Trust me, this is information you don't want to miss. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. Overripe bananas, seemingly harmless but harmful to your liver. Let me tell you about Mr. Henry, a 70-year-old man who, like many of us, loved his daily banana. He believed that bananas were a great source of potassium and energy, and he ate one every morning with his breakfast. But as time passed, he started noticing unusual fatigue and digestive issues. After a routine checkup, he was shocked to learn that his liver function was deteriorating, and he hadn't realized the role his overripe bananas might be playing in it. So, what's the connection between overripe bananas and liver health? The problem arises when bananas become overly ripe. As bananas ripen, their starches convert into sugars, particularly fructose. While this natural sugar is fine in moderation, overripe bananas are packed with sugar, which can put extra stress on the liver. The liver is responsible for processing and breaking down sugar, but when it has to work overtime to process too much sugar, especially from highly ripe fruit, it can lead to liver damage over time. Additionally, consuming excessive amounts of sugar can contribute to fatty liver disease, which is a serious condition that can affect the liver's ability to function properly. The science behind it is simple. When you eat too much sugar, your liver has to work harder to break it down. This results in fat accumulation in liver cells, known as fatty liver disease. Over time, this can lead to inflammation, liver damage, and even cirrhosis. While bananas are certainly healthy when eaten in moderation, it's important to be mindful of how ripe they are, especially if you are consuming them regularly. Here's a tip. To enjoy bananas without putting strain on your liver, try eating them when they're just ripe, not overly soft. This way, you get the health benefits without overloading your system with too much sugar. A quick tip. If you enjoy bananas, consider freezing them when they're perfectly ripe and adding them to smoothies instead of eating them as they ripen further. This will help you avoid consuming too much sugar at once while still getting a tasty, nutritious snack. While bananas are a healthy fruit when eaten in moderation, be cautious about eating them too ripe, as it can contribute to an overload of sugar, placing unnecessary strain on your liver. Now that we've covered bananas, let's move on to another fruit that's sweet, but may have an even bigger impact on your liver health. Grapes. Stay with us to find out why grapes, especially the sweet varieties, may be secretly harming your liver. Number 2, sweet grapes. Delicious, but dangerous for your liver. Let me share a story about Mrs. Linda, a 72-year-old woman who loves snacking on grapes every afternoon. She was always told that grapes were packed with antioxidants and vitamins, and she enjoyed the sweet, juicy taste they offered. For years, she had them as her go-to snack, believing that they were contributing to her health. However, after a routine blood test, Linda was alarmed to find out that her liver enzymes were higher than normal. After a more in-depth examination, her doctor informed her that her liver was showing signs of strain, and the high consumption of sweet fruits, particularly grapes, could be part of the problem. So, why are grapes, especially the sweet ones, harmful to the liver? The issue lies in the high sugar content of grapes, particularly fructose. Grapes, especially the sweeter varieties like Concord or red grapes, have a higher concentration of natural sugars. Fructose is metabolized directly by the liver, and when consumed in excess, it places a heavy burden on the organ. Over time, this can lead to fatty liver disease, where fat builds up inside liver cells, making it harder for the liver to perform its crucial detoxifying functions. The science behind this is that fructose, when consumed in large quantities, is metabolized by the liver and can lead to an increase in fat storage within liver cells. This process contributes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which is one of the most common liver conditions today. NAFLD occurs when fat accumulates in the liver, which can lead to inflammation, scarring, and even cirrhosis if left untreated. Here's a practical tip. While grapes are a healthy fruit when eaten in moderation, it's important to keep an eye on your intake, especially if you're consuming large amounts regularly. You don't have to avoid grapes entirely, but be mindful of how much sugar you're taking in with them. A quick tip: if you're a fan of grapes, try eating them with other fruits that have a lower sugar content, like berries or apples. You can also try freezing grapes for a refreshing snack to help you moderate your intake. If you're concerned about your liver health, reducing your overall sugar intake, including from fruits like grapes, will help ease the load on your liver. Grapes are certainly delicious, but if you're eating them frequently or in large quantities, the sugar content can contribute to liver strain over time. By enjoying them in moderation and balancing them with other fruits, you can still enjoy their benefits without putting unnecessary stress on your liver. Now that we've discussed grapes, let's move on to another fruit that might seem harmless but could be causing harm: dried fruit. Stay tuned to discover why dried fruits are not as healthy as they seem. Number 3, dried fruits, often overlooked but harmful to your liver. Let me tell you about Mr. Robert, a 68-year-old man who loves snacking on dried fruits, especially dried apricots and raisins. He thought they were a healthier alternative to candy and could be easily enjoyed on the go. Robert had been incorporating dried fruits into his daily diet for years, thinking that they were a great source of fiber and nutrients. However, after a routine checkup, he learned that his liver function had worsened significantly, and his doctor suspected that the high sugar content in dried fruits was playing a role. So, why are dried fruits potentially harmful to the liver? The problem lies in the way dried fruits are processed. While fresh fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, dried fruits are concentrated, meaning that the natural sugars become more concentrated as the water is removed. This makes dried fruits like raisins, dried apricots, and figs much higher in sugar than their fresh counterparts. The sugar in dried fruits, especially fructose, is processed by the liver, and when consumed in large quantities, it puts an excessive strain on the liver, leading to fat accumulation and, over time, liver damage. The science behind dried fruits and their impact on the liver is based on the high sugar content they contain. Because dried fruits are small and concentrated, it's easy to eat large portions without realizing just how much sugar you're consuming. Excessive fructose intake is a major contributor to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, where fat builds up in the liver, potentially leading to inflammation and liver dysfunction. Furthermore, dried fruits often contain added sugars and preservatives to enhance their taste and shelf life, which can further contribute to liver strain. Here's what Robert learned the hard way. It's important to enjoy dried fruits in moderation and be aware of their high sugar content. While they may seem like a healthy snack option, consuming too much dried fruit can cause more harm than good, especially for individuals with liver concerns or those who are managing blood sugar levels. A quick tip: if you love dried fruits, be sure to check the labels for added sugars and preservatives. It's best to limit the amount of dried fruit you eat, especially if you're concerned about liver health. You can also mix dried fruits with fresh fruits or nuts to balance out the sugar content and keep your snacks healthier. Dried fruits are often seen as a healthy snack, but because of their high sugar content and concentrated form, they can overwhelm your liver if consumed in excess. Moderation is key to enjoying these fruits without putting unnecessary strain on your liver. Now that we've talked about dried fruits, let's move on to the next fruit that can also be a hidden threat to your liver health. Tropical fruits. Stay tuned to discover why some tropical fruits, though delicious, may not be as liver-friendly as they seem. Number 4. Tropical fruits. Delicious, but can overload your liver. Let me tell you about Mrs. Clara, a 74-year-old woman who has always loved tropical fruits. Pineapples, mangoes, and papayas were staples in her diet. She would often have a bowl of fresh tropical fruit for breakfast and a mango smoothie in the afternoon. While she knew these fruits were packed with vitamins, she didn't realize the toll they could take on her liver, especially as she got older. Over time, Clara started feeling fatigued and noticed that her digestion wasn't as smooth as it used to be. After a visit to the doctor, she was informed that her liver enzymes were elevated, indicating stress on her liver. Her doctor explained that although tropical fruits are nutritious, they are also high in sugars, particularly fructose. These sugars, when consumed in excess, put additional strain on the liver, which can lead to conditions like fatty liver disease. So why are tropical fruits, despite their many health benefits, potentially harmful to the liver? The main issue lies in their high natural sugar content. Tropical fruits like mangoes, pineapples, and papayas are rich in fructose, a type of sugar that is processed directly by the liver. When we eat these fruits in large quantities, the liver has to work hard to metabolize all the sugar. Over time, this can result in the accumulation of fat within the liver, leading to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. While small amounts of tropical fruits are healthy, overconsumption can lead to a buildup of fat in the liver, which can damage liver cells and impair liver function. The science behind this is that when fructose is metabolized by the liver, it is converted into fat. This process is not harmful in moderation, but when fructose is consumed in excess, such as with large servings of tropical fruits, it can lead to fat buildup in the liver. The liver then struggles to detoxify and regulate important bodily processes, leading to inflammation and other complications. Here's what Mrs. Clara wished she had known. It's important to consume tropical fruits in moderation, particularly if you have liver issues or are over 60. While they are rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber, they can also lead to an overload of sugars that your liver has to process. A quick tip: if you enjoy tropical fruits, try limiting your intake to 1 serving per day. You can mix them with other fruits that have lower sugar content, like berries or apples, to create a more balanced, liver-friendly snack. Also, consider eating them with a protein or healthy fat to help slow down the absorption of sugar. Tropical fruits can be an excellent addition to your diet, but their high sugar content means they should be consumed in moderation, especially if you're concerned about liver health. Now that we've covered tropical fruits, let's move on to the next fruit on our list. Fruit juices. You might be surprised to learn how much damage fruit juices can do to your liver. Stick around to find out why. Number 5. Fruit juices, packed with sugar, harmful to your liver. Let me share the story of Mr. Jack, a 68-year-old man who loved drinking fruit juices every day. His morning routine always started with a large glass of freshly squeezed orange juice or a smoothie made from a variety of fruits. Jack thought that drinking fruit juice was a great way to get his daily intake of vitamins and nutrients. However, after years of regularly consuming fruit juices, Jack started to experience fatigue, weight gain, and digestive issues. A visit to his doctor revealed that his liver function had significantly declined, and his doctor pointed out that the excessive sugar content in his daily fruit juices was likely contributing to the problem. So, why are fruit juices, even though they seem like a healthy option, harmful to your liver? The problem lies in the concentrated sugar content found in fruit juices. When fruit is juiced, the fiber is stripped away, leaving only the natural sugars. As a result, fruit juices are much higher in sugar than the whole fruit itself. For example, a glass of orange juice may contain the juice of 3 or more oranges, but it doesn't have the fiber that helps slow down the absorption of sugar. The high concentration of sugar, especially fructose, can place a tremendous burden on the liver, leading to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and other metabolic disorders. The science behind this is simple. When you consume fruit juices, the liver has to metabolize all of the sugar at once, which leads to an overload of fructose. Unlike whole fruits, which provide fiber to slow the sugar absorption process, fruit juices allow sugar to enter the bloodstream much faster. This rapid influx of sugar into the liver can cause fat to accumulate in liver cells, contributing to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which can result in inflammation, liver damage, and other complications if left unchecked. Here's what Mr. Jack learned. While fruit juices may seem like a healthy alternative to sugary sodas or artificial drinks, they can be just as damaging to the liver if consumed in excess. The high sugar content in fruit juices, especially those with no fiber, can overload the liver, leading to long-term health issues. A quick tip: if you enjoy fruit juices, opt for freshly squeezed juice in small portions and consider diluting it with water to reduce the sugar concentration. Alternatively, try making smoothies using whole fruits, which retain the beneficial fiber that helps regulate sugar absorption. This will allow you to enjoy the natural sweetness of fruits without overwhelming your liver. Fruit juices are often marketed as a healthy option, but their high sugar content and lack of fiber make them a hidden danger to liver health. Be mindful of how much fruit juice you're drinking, and remember that moderation is key. Now that we've discussed the risks of fruit juices, let's move on to another fruit that may be causing unseen damage to your liver: the infamous dried fruit. Stick around to find out why dried fruits might not be as harmless as they seem. Number 6. Dried fruits. Sweet, but can overload your liver. Let me share the experience of Mrs. Helen, a 70-year-old woman who had a habit of snacking on dried fruits, especially raisins and dried apricots. She loved having them as a quick snack throughout the day, believing that they were a healthy alternative to processed snacks. However, after months of consuming large quantities of dried fruits, she began to feel increasingly fatigued and bloated. A checkup revealed that her liver enzymes were elevated, signaling liver stress. Her doctor informed her that the excess sugar in dried fruits might be contributing to the problem, despite them seeming like a healthy choice. So, why are dried fruits harmful to your liver, especially when consumed in large amounts? The issue with dried fruits is that they are concentrated versions of fresh fruits. When the moisture is removed from fruits like raisins, apricots, or dates, the natural sugars become more concentrated, leading to a higher sugar content per serving. This can result in consuming much more sugar than you would from fresh fruit. Dried fruits often contain added sugars or preservatives, further increasing the sugar load on your liver. Fructose, the sugar found in dried fruits, is processed by the liver, and excessive intake can lead to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and even liver inflammation. The science behind this is simple. When you eat dried fruits, you're not only consuming the natural sugars from the fruit itself, but also concentrated amounts of sugar, which overloads your liver. The liver struggles to metabolize large amounts of fructose, especially when it comes from processed or dried fruits. Over time, this can lead to fat accumulation in the liver, known as fatty liver disease. This condition can progress to more serious liver issues like cirrhosis if left untreated. Here's what Mrs. Helen discovered the hard way. While dried fruits are often viewed as a healthy snack, they can be surprisingly high in sugar, especially when eaten in large quantities. The process of drying fruit concentrates both the sugar and the calories, putting extra pressure on the liver. If you're concerned about liver health, it's important to limit your consumption of dried fruits. A quick tip: if you love dried fruits, try to limit your intake and always check the labels for added sugars or preservatives. It's also a good idea to mix dried fruits with fresh fruits or nuts to balance the sugar content. When choosing dried fruits, opt for those that are unsweetened and free of added chemicals or preservatives to make them a healthier snack. Dried fruits, though nutritious in moderation, can overload your liver with sugar and preservatives when consumed in large amounts. They're often more concentrated than fresh fruit, making it easy to overeat without realizing the negative impact on your liver health. Now that we've discussed dried fruits, let's move on to the next fruit that can be quietly harming your liver: citrus fruits. Stay tuned to discover why, despite their vitamin C benefits, citrus fruits might not be as liver-friendly as you think. Number 7. Citrus fruits. Too much of a good thing can harm your liver. Let me share the story of Mr. Thomas, a 71-year-old man who absolutely loves citrus fruits. Oranges, grapefruits, lemons. He ate them all regularly, believing they were an essential part of a healthy diet. He especially enjoyed starting his day with a fresh glass of orange juice and adding lemon to his water throughout the day. However, after several months of consuming citrus fruits in high amounts, he began to feel constant bloating, fatigue, and discomfort in his upper abdomen. A liver function test revealed that his liver was under stress, and the doctor explained that excessive consumption of citrus fruits could be contributing to the problem. So why are citrus fruits, despite their vitamin C and antioxidant benefits, potentially harmful to the liver? While citrus fruits are often praised for their nutritional value, they are also highly acidic. When consumed in excessive amounts, this acidity can put pressure on the liver, especially if someone is already dealing with liver issues or digestive problems. Furthermore, citrus fruits like oranges and grapefruits contain high levels of fructose, which when consumed in excess can contribute to fatty liver disease. The science behind this is that the liver processes fructose from the foods we eat, and when too much fructose is consumed, it can result in fat accumulating in the liver. This can lead to inflammation, oxidative stress, and even non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. The high acidity of citrus fruits can also irritate the digestive system, leading to discomfort and bloating, which in turn puts more strain on the liver's ability to function efficiently. Here's what Mr. Thomas learned. While citrus fruits are beneficial in moderation, overconsumption can lead to problems, especially for individuals with existing liver concerns or those who consume a lot of acidic foods. Balance is key. While a small amount of citrus can provide a burst of vitamin C, too much can place unnecessary strain on the liver and digestive system. A quick tip: if you enjoy citrus fruits, try to limit your intake to 1 or 2 servings per day. Instead of drinking large amounts of juice, try eating whole citrus fruits to get the added fiber, which will help moderate the sugar content and acidity. Also consider balancing citrus fruits with less acidic options like berries or apples to support liver health. Citrus fruits can be a great source of vitamins and antioxidants, but consuming them in excess, particularly in the form of juices, can overload your liver with sugar and acidity. Moderation is key to enjoying their health benefits without causing harm. Now that we've discussed citrus fruits, let's move on to another fruit that many people enjoy without realizing its potential negative impact on the liver: the deceptively dangerous apple. Stay with us to find out why apples might be causing more damage to your liver than you think. Number 8. Apples, healthy, but overconsumption can stress your liver. Let me share the experience of Mrs. Patricia, a 73-year-old woman who has always believed in the saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." For years, Patricia ate apples regularly, convinced that they were the perfect snack due to their fiber content and antioxidants. She even started incorporating apple juice into her morning routine. However, after some time, she began feeling bloated and sluggish and noticed that her energy levels had dropped significantly. After a liver checkup, Patricia was surprised to learn that her liver function was not as healthy as she thought, and her doctor suggested that overconsumption of apples could be contributing to the problem. So, why can apples, despite being so commonly associated with health, be harmful to the liver if eaten excessively? While apples are indeed a healthy fruit with many benefits, such as being high in fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants, they also contain significant amounts of fructose. Fructose, the sugar found in apples, is processed directly by the liver. When consumed in large quantities, the liver becomes overwhelmed by the task of metabolizing all the fructose, which can lead to fat accumulation in liver cells. This excessive fat storage contributes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which is a common condition that affects the liver as it ages. The science behind this is simple. When fructose from apples is processed by the liver, it gets converted into fat. The liver can handle small amounts of fructose without issue, but when large amounts are consumed, whether through whole apples or apple juice, the excess fructose can lead to liver fat buildup. Over time, this buildup can cause liver inflammation, stress, and even long-term damage. Additionally, apple juice can be especially problematic as it concentrates the sugar and removes the fiber, causing a spike in blood sugar levels that further taxes the liver. Here's what Mrs. Patricia learned. While apples are generally considered healthy, consuming them in large quantities, especially in juice form, can put unnecessary strain on your liver. It's important to enjoy apples in moderation, especially if you already have concerns about your liver health. A quick tip: limit your apple intake to 1 or 2 servings per day. Opt for whole apples over apple juice, as the fiber in the whole fruit helps to slow down the absorption of sugar and supports digestive health. You can also balance your apple consumption with other lower sugar fruits like berries, which can help reduce the load on your liver. While apples are indeed a healthy choice for most people, overconsumption can put excess stress on your liver, especially as you age. Eating apples in moderation and balancing them with other fruits can ensure that you get their benefits without the negative side effects. Now that we've discussed apples, let's wrap up our exploration of fruits that could potentially harm your liver. Stay tuned for the conclusion, where I'll provide some helpful tips on how to make better fruit choices for liver health. Conclusion. As we've seen in today's video, many fruits that are commonly considered healthy can actually put extra strain on our liver, especially as we age. From overripe bananas and sweet grapes to dried fruits and citrus, the sugar content in these fruits, when consumed in excess, can lead to liver problems like fatty liver disease and other complications. It's crucial to recognize that while fruits are packed with essential vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber, consuming them in large quantities or in their concentrated forms, like juices or dried fruits, can overwhelm the liver, making it harder for your body to process and detoxify effectively. The key takeaway here is moderation. While it's perfectly fine to enjoy a variety of fruits, it's essential to be mindful of their sugar content, particularly fructose, and how it affects your liver's ability to function properly. By opting for whole fruits, reducing your intake of dried fruits and fruit juices, and being mindful of how much sugar you're consuming, you can continue to enjoy the health benefits of fruits while protecting your liver in the long run. I hope this video has given you valuable insights into how certain fruits can impact your liver health and what steps you can take to protect it. Remember, your liver plays a crucial role in detoxifying your body and maintaining overall health, so it's important to give it the care and attention it deserves. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends and family so they can learn how to take better care of their liver too. And if you have any thoughts or questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences with liver health and fruits. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of your liver, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy and be well. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.